What's going on, Jerome's? Minnesota Vikings need to get back to having the meats, but also the pass rush. They need a pass rush on the interior. They can rush from the edge for days. Grenard, Van Ginkel, career seasons. Diamond Dallas Turner rising on up. Back on the streets. Had my times, took my chances. Interior defensive line. Harrison Phillips fought the good fight. Tilly Bullard did their job, stopping the run at 5 techs. But we need a pass rush. We need something so that Flores can dial back the blitz and we can actually send men in coverage and also all that stuff, right? So Redmond, got some hope for Redmond. 6'1" is in the building, and LDR have hopes for him developing into year 2. We'll see. But the Vikings have the cap space. The Vikings have the motivation. The Vikings need to add to the defensive line. It's also a very deep defensive line class as well. But Moneyball-wise, at a certain point, you just throw it all out the window and just be like, hey, we are all in. We are absolutely all in. A long story longer, ESPN, Worldwide Bleeder, Dan Graziano and NFL Nation, they did up a piece projecting offers deals for 6 stars. And what's interesting is that they got Slinging Sammy Darnold, a.k.a. America's quarterback. The Raiders offering 3 years, $125 and $55 million guaranteed. So he's getting his $40 million. Yeah, okay. The Titans, holders of the number 1 overall pick, 3 for $120 for $85 million guaranteed, and the decision goes to Tennessee. I actually feel like Nashville is Sam Darnold's speed. You know what I mean? So Brian Callahan gets himself a quarterback, $85 million guaranteed. It only takes one team, and all it takes is 2 teams to have a bidding war. I'm not banking on the $40 million. I don't know, just the vibe that we're getting now, unless everyone's just keeping their powder dry and everyone really is jonesing for Slinging Sammy Darnold. Then you got Milton Williams. So apple of the Vikings' eye, and I understand that there is some concern. Milton Williams' production has been relatively muted throughout his career since he's been a rotational pass rush guy, but did have a breakout season 2024. Also, you want big-time players who step up in big-time spots, and Milton Williams, was just instrumental along that defensive line. Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis getting after Patrick Mahomes' ass, but 4 tackles, 2 sacks, 7 pressures. That's certainly nothing to sneeze at in the Super Bowl. But Milton Williams gets an offer from stupid-ass Sean Payton. Now, I feel like I'm fine with the Vikings overpaying Milton Williams just to keep him away from the Broncos. Patriots are also all in, and then the Vikings swoop in. 4 years, $96 million with $75 million guaranteed. This is what Kevin Seifert, who is not Carl Gerbschmidt, wrote. The Vikings tried to sign Christian Wilkins last season to give some juice along the interior defensive line, and they'll take another swing here. Over the past 2 seasons, they have 91 sacks, but only 9 of them have come from defensive tackles, which is not good. No bueno. Now, Seifert does bring up Christian Wilkins. So Wilkins, of course, had time with Flores in Miami in South Beach. And a lot of people were saying, well, Wilkins is a pure 3-tech, but Flores is running a 3-4. How does that work out? It was clear that he was going to make it work out. You know what I mean? So you adjust your scheme to the players that you have. And Wilkins would have played a mix of 3-tech, 5-tech, and all that stuff and got after things. But the Raiders just came in and just like, hey, here's 4 years, $110 million with $82.75 million guaranteed. And that's what got Christian Wilkins to the Raiders. And him and Max Crosby got paid. The Raiders might have the most expensive defensive line in the league at this point. Yeah. But the decision, Williams agrees to a new deal with the Vikings. So now we have the makings of Williams Wall 2.0. We just need to draft Tyleik Williams from Ohio State, and we have Williams Wall 2.0. Woo! I love it. It was between Minnesota and Denver, and the 4th year on the deal and the stronger guarantee pushes us towards the Vikings. This is also a team that won 14 games last season. And while there's a lot to like about Denver's trajectory, the Vikings are already a contender. They give Williams the best chance to get back to the Super Bowl soon and actually win a ring that doesn't have an asterisk. I don't know. I'm just talking junk at this point. But Williams has been a rotational guy, 3rd-round pick out of Louisiana Tech, but brings that juice. And that's exactly what the Vikings need. And like we said, he can't poo-poo a Super Bowl performance. And Williams, so I understand, giving the huge contract to a player who really had 1 year of a breakout season, has been a rotational guy, but it's not a one-for-one comparison, but it's similar to when the Vikings extended and paid premium dollars to Everson Griffin in 2014, because he to that point of his career, he hadn't started. He hadn't been a regular starter. He'd been behind Jared Allen and B-Rob, and he'd been a rotational guy. He played edge, defensive tackle. He'd been a freaking punt gunner because that's how much Everson loves the game. And a lot of people were scratching their heads like, why are they doing that? But it's a similar spot for Milton Williams because he is ready to be a full-time guy, and he's going to be compensated as such. And the Vikings, they just need that dude. And Williams got that never-ending motor, violent, opportunistic hands, can be a true three-down player, 58 pressures and 7 sacks if you include the playoffs, which you should, and also a 13.8% pressure rate, which is pretty damn phenomenal for an interior, and can play a mix of 3-tech on passing downs when they go even front, as well as 5-tech in base. So Williams is ready to go. Like, he's revved up, ready to go. Super position of need. And the Vikings, is it expensive? Yes, but the Vikings do have the cap space. They took the dead cap on the chin last year, as well as if they don't sign Sam Darnold, that's a big chunk of money that is freed up. And also, structuring-wise, the Vikings can make this very palatable, especially since they're projected to have $107 million in cap space in 2026, $177 in 2027. So there's definitely ways around it because... But your thoughts are thoughts. Minnesota Fighting Vikings go all in with Milton Williams. ESPN's free agent projections. Let us know your thoughts, our thoughts, comment section. You guys are the best. You know what to do. Skull production value.